Welcome, Director.
Hi, Senator.
Thanks for being here. Senator Cornyn and I did the provisions in the First Step Act related to the safe and orderly return of folks in custody to the community. And I wanted to touch base with you about that program. The first thing is that my understanding is that it's working quite well in terms of outcomes. We have information that as of December 31st, 2021, the recidivism rate for those who went through the pre-release programming was about 16%, compared to an overall recidivism rate for BOP population of 43%. Does that seem about right to you? Do you think those statistics reflect the success of the program?
Senator, I don't have the recidivism statistics in front of me, but I do know that out of the 11,000 that have been released on the CARES Act, only 450 have been returned to prison, and only 17 of those were returned for committing a new crime.
So your characterization of that result would be?
Positive, Senator.
At the same time, it appears that the program is backlogged as employees who are participating in its implementation get pulled into traditional corrections duties. Is that the case also?
Senator, if that's the case, I have not been briefed on that backlog.
Okay. Well, I'll follow up to take a look at that because it seems like it's a missed opportunity and perhaps a mistaken priority, if that is what is happening. Specifically, Rhode Island had extremely good luck, great outcomes by providing medication-assisted treatment to incarcerated individuals prior to their release. And among the results that we saw was a dramatic, like 60% reduction in overdose fatalities from a similar population beforehand. So that seems to work quite well. Could you let us know how that program is proceeding, both as to the screening for medication-assisted treatment and as to the implementation of medication-assisted treatment for folks being discharged from BOP custody?
Thank you, Senator. Yes, our medicated assistant treatment program was implemented in 2019 and has proven successful. All of the data points that you have just mentioned, I'm in complete agreement with. I do have some data. In the last 6 months, we have increased from about 461 MAT patients to 920. And so we continue to see that number grow. Over 3,000 individuals have been prescribed MAT medication since the program was implemented in 2019.
Great. While we worked very well together in bipartisan fashion, even getting President Trump excited about the bill and signing it into law with a big crowd in the Oval Office, there were some things that we could not get done, and I would like to ask you to consider supporting legislation that would allow this to happen. Not at this particular moment, obviously subject to review, but I used to travel around Rhode Island as U.S. Attorney and as our state's Attorney General in a state where the Attorney General has full criminal jurisdiction. We don't have DAs. I was Attorney General and DA. Pointing out on a graphic that I had the density of the population in different zip codes that had been recently released from incarceration. And there were zip codes in Rhode Island that had virtually 0 people in that category. And there were zip codes in Rhode Island that had an enormous population of people coming out of incarceration. And while we provide pre-release services, anti-recidivism services, MAT services, and things like that, that very much support the individual returning to the community, we've been less attentive to what supports the communities need that are the locales into which the very heavy population is drawn from recently incarcerated people. So I would love to work with you on that and try to figure out ways to, A, get support for those programs, and B, figure out how the Bureau of Prisons thinks that they would work most effectively for their population. Would you be willing to work on that? Do you think that's a good issue to address?
Absolutely, Senator.
To both?
To both, yes.
Great. Thank you. Thanks, Chairman.